Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. And in this video, we're going to talk about a yet important topic, which also goes to the economic perspective of being an immigrant, as well as the tradition or the infrastructures of Western countries, specifically if we are talking about the US and Canada, and even we can talk about Mexico, but anything pretty much excluding European countries. And this is a video that has an educational perspective of it, because if you're planning to come to the US, at least you know how does the system work when it comes to purchasing a car. But it also can indicate for those of us who have moved here and haven't purchased a car, or have been trying to purchase a car in a specific manner or within a specific method, to kind of find out about the other ways that exist and you can take advantage of it. Because coming from a low income background and not having that much money and not having a car until the second year of my college, when everybody else in high school had it, it was a real struggle. And then I had to kind of go through different routes and experience them. So what is a better opportunity to talk about them from a perspective of somebody who has gone through it, and kind of discuss the ups and downs or advantages and disadvantages with each route that potentially exists for you to go. So for the specific matters that we are going to talk about in this video, I'm going to put everything in three separate categories. And although there's a lot more into everything that I'm talking about, specifically the steps, which are going to be 4 steps in each category, I'm going to go step by step, and then talking about how it works when you're purchasing a car with regards to which category you were aiming for. All right, these 3 categories are going to be purchasing a car, a used car from a private owner, purchasing a used car from a car salesman or a used dealer, as well as purchasing a car from a dealership, which in that case we're talking about a brand new car. All right, so these are the 3 categories, and on each step of purchasing a car, we're going to jump into each category and talk about how it works, so it is not confusing. However, there's a lot more into every step that is going to be talked about. Yet this video is not enough for me to go through them one by one and talk about every single little things that exist with them. Like for example, when it comes to the title and transfer of title, like, okay, so what does it mean for the title to be clean title? What does it mean to be salvage? What does it mean to be rebuilt? What is the lien title? All of those things can vary. However, in this video, we really don't have time to go on them on every detail that we possibly can. However, I'm going to be as much detail as possible with every single step. Again, not going into it that much. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. But before I start, please like this video, please share and comment down your opinions about everything that I'm talking about, or if you have any suggestions for the future videos. And to give you a good news, which I've kind of mentioned in the end of my previous video, we finally were able to put together our website, thanks to my brother, who also now works and is part of this company. And please check it out. I will make sure to mention it in the description, and you guys can take advantage of the whole thing. The main goal with the website is to also provide everything that I'm talking about, but in blog version. So if you're a person that you're going to benefit more from reading, because I know there are those people that would rather read stuff or listen to them instead of visually witnessing them, that will be a better option for you, or something that you can also consider going through our website. All right, so now let's jump into each step that requires or is available for you to purchase a car, and the ups and downs of it. Alright, so when we're going for purchasing a car from another owner or a private seller in this case, this is where you're going to aim for websites such as Craigslist, in certain cases even eBay, because they have the car advertised. You can call them and talk about the whole thing, especially if they're in your area, so you can really arrange anything and go basically see the car. And then third will be OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. All right, so these are the resources that you want to aim for or you want to look into when you want to purchase a car from a private seller. Now, what are the ups and downs with this whole basically first step or purchasing it from a private seller? Is that the ups are that you have a lot more flexibility. Basically, you can a lot more negotiate the whole purchase price, as well as the price is usually to your advantage because it's going to be much cheaper when it comes to comparing it to basically a private or used car dealership, as well as purchasing a brand new car from a dealership itself. It's going to be so much cheaper, and you can basically analyze the market. That's why I was trying to say by the pricing can be to your advantage. You can analyze the market and you can analyze the car and talk about the price a lot more. And since these are private sellers, you can even find out about the occasions or the situation that they're going through and even use that to your advantage in order to adjust the price. However, this is not really the case with the second or the third option. The reason for it being these people are into the car market. They know what the purchase price is for them, and of course running a business in here is expensive, or anywhere in the world is expensive, so they are trying to make a little bit on it, as well as kind of pushing the taxes on you. All right, so there is not so much of a negotiation when it comes to purchasing it from a dealership. If you're talking about a used car or a brand new car, even, that thing is going to be more strict. Now, there are a ton of videos that they will basically teach you all these basic tips and tricks that exist when you're entering a dealership on how you should negotiate and everything else. But really, in my experience, you will get the best deal when you are going the private route and kind of doing the whole search. Now, the downside of it is that, for example, let's say you're purchasing a car, you don't know much about what to look for, like, mechanic wise, body wise, and then you buy a car, the engine is bad, but you've been told it's perfect, there's no problem, or you're driving the car, everything is solid, then you drive it home, or within few next miles, you will see that the check engine pops up, or the engine is not running well. So you wanting to go back and kind of take the previous owner into the account of, hey, what's going on, is not gonna really work, because they sold the car and they were like, hey, you had the opportunity to go through the car yourself, why you didn't basically do your part very well and just purchase the car. In majority of cases, there are situations that they are selling for another person, or they bought it and they don't want to register it under or their own name, basically because they're trying to make a little bit of money here and there. So there's a chance that you don't even find who is the real seller in that case to go back and return the car or kind of complain about it. So that's really a significant part of it, and the significant drawback if we want to associate with regards to the purchasing it from a private owner, the goods and bads. But really, the goods, the price, if you know that this person has been trying to sell the car for this amount of time, haven't been successful, and then you know the car price, you know how to fix the problems, you can really bring those factors into negotiations and get it to the price that you like. Again, it's not going to be so much in the second or third category option. With the second category, you usually basically take off the whole searching aspect of it and the trusting factor, because you just walk in, they tell you, hey, these are the cars that we have, and this is wrong with it, or this is not wrong with it, like everything is perfect, and you take their words for it, and then you walk out or you purchase a car, and in majority of cases, if something happens, you can take the car back to that used salesperson or used car dealership and basically try to get a refund, try to negotiate the price again, meaning cut off some of the prices that you already paid for the car, or in certain cases even sue them because the car is certainly not what it's supposed to be or what they advertise for. And then in the first category, if you're purchasing a brand new car which requires a better credit and usually a good paying job, because when they run the credit and they're trying to finance the car to you, or basically approve you for the loan. Again, these are, all these terms that I'm throwing at you. If you're an immigrant and planning to come here and never heard about them, this require their own video. But basically, if they're providing the car to you by applying for you for a loan, then you need to have certain criteria approved, like your income, as well as the down payment or the credit score, or etc., that goes with it. And in that case, you're paying the most amount of money. And there's a good saying in the American culture that as soon as you drive off that car from the parking lot, it immediately loses 5 to 7% of the price, even if you go back and return the car immediately. At least that's the whole saying that it goes with it. But that just is there to show you that that is the most expensive route that you potentially can go. Now, I want to kind of open up a parenthesis, especially for those of us who are coming from different countries where cars are an appreciating asset, or at least do not lose their value that much. However, in the US and Western culture, specifically again, US and Canada, cars are normally a depreciating asset. I know it's shocking, it's different here. However, during the whole Corona and the 2020 disaster that was going on, the cars actually went up in value, and specific cars or certain cars that are within the car culture community have really appreciated in value. But normally, a car is a depreciating asset, and it will lose its value based on the mileage and the year that you're purchasing it. Alright, so these are the three categories. That was the first step. The second step that really applies to the first and the second category, the used car, basically, is that the whole inspection part of it. Basically, you go to the private seller's house or wherever you guys meet. Sometimes they don't want to invite you to their house. It's going to be a parking lot. You go through the car, the engine wise, what's under the hood, the body panels, what needs work, what doesn't need, is it original, and all those stuff. The tires are very important here in the US, because again, the distances are so far away and tires are expensive. So those all are factors for you to look through, and in majority of cases, if the seller is an honest person, you can even ask for a test drive, which even, I know the car is not under your name, but they will provide you with the opportunity to test drive it. Even either they sit next to you or they ask for some sort of collateral to be with them in order for you to drive the car. And then that will be the second step. Same thing goes with the used salesperson or used sales car dealerships. They usually do the same. However, in those cases, you usually do not have that much things wrong with these cars, again, because they're trying to have a car very well put together. Very well is a overestimate, put together in order to get the most out of it. Now, what does it mean, which is very important to discuss, is that in majority of cases, these salesperson or these used car dealerships, they just want the car to not have any check engine light or anything wrong with it visually. Alright, that doesn't mean if the car needed a brake, they necessarily went to above and beyond in order to take care of the brakes, meaning putting the right brake pads or the quality brake pads that will last you a long time. It means that they just made sure that it's there. If it needed like a disc and brake, at least it has the brake pads and it's not making squeezy noises. Now later on, when you have to replace both of them, that's on you. Alright, so this is something that you should consider even when you're purchasing it from a dealership, a used dealership, that not necessarily everything has been taken care of to the quality that you as an owner would want to take care of if this is your car. And then the next step will be talking about the transferring of the title and you paying the price either way that you're going. It can be a money order, it can be a cashier's check, it can be cash, or it can even be a transfer from your bank account or wire, basically what we call it. And then so you guys sign the title, you transfer the money, and you pay the taxes or the transfer fee in that case and registration. So what's going to happen is that basically you guys fill out the whole thing. Here in California, the front side of the title It has the information of the seller, and then they ask you to put in your odometer reading, basically what it is, and then the date, and the seller has to sign the front twice. And basically initiate their name, and the buyer has to sign it once and then initiate their name and date. Basically, when it comes to the back of the title, it's completely for the buyer, and they have to fill it out. They have to basically turn it to the DMV within the next day or the 20 days, I believe that is the period, and basically register their car under their name. In that case, they have to pay, I believe it's 10%. Again, state to state is different, but 10% of the purchase price in order to get the title transferred under their name. And if it has anything, any other fees that they have to take care of, like for example, if the car was on a non-up and it has some sort of back fee, or the seller didn't provide them with the plates, and now they have to purchase a brand new plates. So these are all extra expenses that goes with it. Now, in majority of the cases, when you're dealing with a private party, this is where you're saving, because a lot of taxes is not coming at you, and then if they have the current registration and the title and the plate, then you are really just paying for that transfer fee. However, this is not the case with the second or the third category, meaning when you purchase a brand new car or a used car. In both cases of those last categories, you have to pay a lot more, the taxes, the extra fees, and in majority of cases they do not come with a plate, so you have to pay for them one way or another in the second and the third category, which is excluded on the first category. So this is where you're really saving the money in compared to the other those two category. And again, if the car needs anything, you can negotiate the most in the first category, meaning purchasing it from a private seller, as well as basically seeing how long the car has been in the market, and you can use that against them. Alright, so when that part takes place, you want to really be careful, especially if you're dealing with a private seller, that the title is not signed, the title matches their ID, the name, the address, and everything, because there are some good chances that people just buy these cars cheaper because they know the person is trying to get rid of it. They don't register it under their name, and then they just want to, because they're trying to avoid that registration fee, and they immediately trying to flip it on you. So make sure when you're going through the title, it is the name, it basically matches the ID with the ID of the person that you're buying it from. That's the least that you can do. And in addition to that, you can run the WIN. WIN is basically that number that is like a social security to that car, in order to make sure it is not stolen. All right. And then after that, once you pay the fee, once you turn in the title, you will wait, and within the next 2 to 4 weeks, you will receive a title, and of course, you will receive a temporary registration right there when you basically pay for everything. And that's pretty much it. That is it within the three categories. Again, in certain categories you have to pay more. In certain categories you have a lot more paperwork to do when it comes to the dealerships, either used or when you're purchasing a brand new car. And the most amount of money that you are saving is going to be with the first category, meaning purchasing from a private seller, and the least amount of money that you're going to save in majority of cases is if you're going down the basically a brand new car. Alright, and I have a whole video talking about why you shouldn't do that, so please go and watch that. I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, a lot has not been mentioned in this video, so I'm going to put together another video talking about like different types of titles that exist, how you should handle that section of the transfer, or this section, or what you should look for when you're inspecting a car. So if this is something that you guys will be interested in, please subscribe and I will make sure to get into it. Thank you again for watching this video, and hope you have a good day. Peace.